Brought to you by Penguin.
The Spy by Clive Cussler and Justin Scott. Read by Scott Brick. The Gunner's Daughter. Chapter 1. March 17th, 1908, Washington, D.C. The Washington Navy Yard slept like an ancient city guarded by thick walls and a river. Old men stood watch, plodding between electric time detectors to register their rounds of factories, magazines, shops, and barracks. Outside the perimeter rose a hill of darkened workers' houses. The Capitol Dome and the Washington Monument crowned it, glittering under a full moon like polar ice. A whistle moaned. A train approached, bleeding steam and clanging its bell. U.S. Marine sentries opened the North Railroad Gate. No one saw Yamamoto Kenta hiding under the Baltimore and Ohio flat car that the locomotive pushed into the yard. The flat car's wheels groaned under a load of 14-inch armor plate from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Brakemen uncoupled the car on a siding, and the engine backed away. Yamamoto eased to the wooden crossties and stone ballast between the rails. He lay still until he was sure he was alone. Then he followed the tracks into the cluster of 3-story brick and iron buildings that housed the gun factory. Moonlight lancing down from high windows and the ruby glow of banked furnaces illuminated an enormous cavern. Traveler cranes hulked in shadows overhead. Colossal 50-ton dreadnought battleship guns crowded the floor as if a fiery hurricane had leveled a steel forest. Yamamoto, a middle-aged Japanese with threads of gray in his shiny black hair and a confident, dignified manner, wove a purposeful route through the watchman's prescribed paths, examining gun lathes, machines for rifling, and furnaces. He paid special attention to deep wells in the floor, the brick-lined shrinking pits where the guns were assembled by squeezing steel jackets around 50-foot tubes. His eye was sharp, refined by similar clandestine tours of Vickers and Krupp, the British and German naval gun factories, and the Tsar of Russia's ordnance plants at St. Petersburg. An old-style Yale lock secured the door to the laboratory storeroom that dispensed supplies to the engineers and scientists. Yamamoto picked it open quickly. Inside he searched cabinets for iodine. He poured 6 ounces of the shiny blue-black crystals into an envelope. Then he scrawled crystal iodine 6 ounces on a requisition sheet with the initials A.L. for the gun factory's legendary chief designer, Arthur Langner. In a distant wing of the sprawling building, he located the test caisson where armor experts simulated torpedo attacks to measure the awesomely magnified impact of explosions underwater. He rummaged through their magazine. The sea powers locked in the international race to build modern dreadnought battleships were feverishly experimenting with arming torpedoes with TNT, but Yamamoto noted that the Americans were still testing formulations based on gun cotton propellants. He stole a silk bag of Cordite MD smokeless powder. As he opened a janitor's closet to filch a bottle of ammonia water, he heard a watchman coming. He hid in the closet until the old fellow had shuffled past and disappeared among the guns. Swift and silent, Yamamoto climbed the stairs. Arthur Langner's drawing loft, which was not locked, was the workshop of an eccentric whose genius spanned war and art. Blueprints for stepped thread breeches and visionary sketches of shells with smashing effects as yet unheard of shared the workspace with a painter's easel, a library of novels, a bass violin, and a grand piano. Yamamoto left the cordite, the iodine, and the ammonia on the piano and spent an hour studying the drafting tables. Be Japan's eyes, he preached at the Black Ocean Society's spy school on the rare occasions that duty allowed him home. Take every opportunity to observe, whether your ultimate mission is deception, sabotage, or murder. What he saw frightened him. The 12-inch guns...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?